Hey, so many upsets on Tuesday, calling it Upset Tuesday. New top 25 poll comes out today. Cascade Hoopstock starts right now. Before we get started, the YouTube data shows that over 2/3 of you that watch this show do not subscribe. And I think all of you know I do this as a labor of love. I don't show you ads. I don't try to get any money. I pay for everything, including my travel, out of my own pocket. The only thing I wish for out of it is that a lot of people get to hear the story of NAIA basketball, and the more of you who could subscribe, it would be very helpful. So if you could subscribe on YouTube and hit the like button on X or on Spotify, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, the first thing we want to do is we want to recognize Steve Draben, who was named as Hoop Dirt's Coach of the Week for the NAI. Obviously, they lost today, and we'll talk about that, but one loss doesn't make a coach's career, thank goodness. Steve Draben does a great job at Bethel, and we just want to congratulate Steve. It's a good honor, and thank you to Hoop Dirt for doing those. Hey, guess what? New poll today. The new phone book's here. So today at 8, about Pacific time, if you go to X and you go to @NAI and just start hitting refresh, you'll get those men's and women's basketball polls. That's the fastest way I've always found to find it. Hey, the Battle of the Beach wrapped up today. We're going to talk about those games. So just want to thank the promoters of that. Boy, they had some great basketball there. Obviously, the big game was Freed Hardeman and the Arizona Firestorm yesterday. So Langston, they were in action. They beat Mid-America Christian 65-61. Bryce Monroe, 24 points. Joshua Smith, 9 points, 4 rebounds. So Langston is at 6-2. Really curious where they end up in the poll. I think they'll still be in the top 10. I'm not going to start guessing that stuff. Forget it. They got to travel to North Texas at Dallas on December 5th. And as I said, they are 6-2. Every team in the Sooner played tonight. Oklahoma City, they fell to John Brown. John Brown is good. They're just mowing them down in the Sooner there. I'm going to show you that when we get to the standings. LeBron George, 22 points, 2 rebounds. Drew Miller, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So Oklahoma City is 7-3, and they are going to play Oklahoma Panhandle on December 5th. I didn't update that. But anyway, they play Oklahoma Panhandle on December 5th. Let's take a look at those standings now. Here's a quick review of the games today. You can kind of see them there. Full load. They had a full load. Wayland Baptist won again. But what I want to point out from this is the standings. So John Brown is standing on top of the standings here. I think I can do this. Just be patient for half a second. Oh, this is very smooth. Nope, I can't keep a big hand point to it. Sorry about that. Science in action. John Brown's at 4-0. Central Christian, Wayland Baptist, they're just a half a game back, and then Nelson is 1 game back. So there's a pack starting to form, and as of this very moment, the pack doesn't have Langston or Oklahoma City. There's a long way to go, but you can. We see this every year, right? There's all this conversation about certain teams. You look up and, wow, they're 5th in their conference or they're 6th in their conference. It happens every year. It's where things really start to shake out. The College of Idaho, they played a non-con tonight against Northwest Nazarene. Now, Northwest Nazarene, if you remember, if you ever watch this show, that they're a local D2. They used to be in the Cascade Conference. College of Idaho plays 2 games with them every year. One's an exhibition, one's not. This one is not. and they have something called the Mayor's Cup, and it's pretty highly coveted there. And we're all College of Idaho fans the night that they play Northwest Nazarene because they were too big to their britches. They were too good for us. They had to go to NC2A D2, so we want them to get the heck beat out of them whenever College of Idaho plays. So tonight, College of Idaho did do that. They beat the heck out of them 76-44. If you remember when this game, College of Idaho lost over at Northwest Nazarene in overtime, and I said Colby is not going. He's not going to let that stand. Colby hates losing this game. He hates it. I think he'd rather lose to Oregon Tech than lose to Northwest Nazarene. But College of Idaho got him tonight. Johnny Radford, 18 points. He's a real crowd favorite there in Caldwell. Whenever he takes the court, he's a shooter extraordinaire. Samaji Morgan, he had 15 points, and Stratton Rogers balanced him out with 15 rebounds. So they're all done with non-con. They've played their 6 non-con, and they're going to host Southern Oregon and our friend Matt Zozell on December 6th. Oregon Tech, they had to go down to Simpson, down in Redding, California last night. This was a game everybody was wondering how it would turn out. Simpson came up to the Valley, as we call it, and they beat Bushnell and Corbin. Really opened a lot of eyes. That's a tough trip for everybody. Yeah, Simpson came up out of the CalPAC and did it. Simpson is a very good team. I watched them last weekend and got to interview Coach David Cohn. That's on YouTube. You should go get it. He's put together a really good team there. Oregon Tech got out of Redding with a victory, though, 83-70. The General, Jameson Guerra, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Bucket Osborne, he had 15 points. And Artillery Shivers, he popped in 14. So the Oregon Tech Owls now, they're 4-2, and they're going to travel to Eastern Oregon. Oh, man, that's a trip. On December 6th. Lewis and Clark Warriors, they played their travel partner tonight, Walla Walla. They just mercilessly pounded on them, 94-59. Makari Morris, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Taden King, 15 points. John Lustig, 10 points, 10 rebounds. John Lustig is a good all-around player. Really nice guy. He's a good guy. So they're going to play. They're going to start Cascade Conference play on December 6th. They travel to Northwest. That's no picnic travel for LC State either. They got to travel all the way across the state of Washington. Grace College, they played a non-conference with IU Columbus. They beat them 104-69. They go to 7-2. The Lancers do. Ian Scott doing Ian Scott things. 16 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. Gage Sefton, 16 points and 2 rebounds. They kick off Crossroads on December 4th. No, they've already kicked it off. I misspoke. They've already kicked off the Crossroads. They return to Crossroads on December 4th. Man, I'm worthless. Arizona Christian, they fell to Freed Hardeman yesterday. That was the game of the month. Big win for Freed Hardeman. We're going to talk more about that when we get down to Freed. But Arizona Christian, they are awesome. They are great. They are a very good basketball team. I think, and a lot of observers believe it as well, that they'll be number 1 when the poll comes out today. The Masters, they played Noble. This was just not even a game. 108-52. John Neferati, 32 points, 5 steals. Man, he had him a game. Kendall Moore, 22 points. So the Masters, they're at 9-1. They're going to play Cal Merced on December 5th. Number 5, Georgetown. They beat Bethel. That's at Bethel, Indiana style. That's Steve Draben's team. That was the first loss of the year for Bethel. Georgetown won this game 74-68. They go to 9-1. Jacquees Franklin, 20 points. And Darian Lewis, 11 points, 3 rebounds. So Georgetown is rolling, man. They're stacking wins. They play Tennessee Wesleyan Saturday at the Show. And here's Freed Hardeman. So Freed Hardeman pretty much controlled the game, and they beat Arizona Christian. It was a good, solid win. A couple of people I talked to, Arizona Christian has been on the road across the country more than anybody else. They've been to Montana, Oregon, Washington, Idaho. I think anyway, everywhere. California, they went to the Masters play tournament. They've been road warriors. And I did ask, I don't remember who it was, I asked off Arizona Christian when I saw them, when I covered their games, and I said, how is that, what's it like being on the road? And a couple of times we're tired. And I think it caught up with them today, honestly. I'm not taking anything away from Freed, but man, they've been on the road a long time, and they just didn't quite seem to have the same legs. That's just an observation, and again, not taking anything away from the Freed win. So Freed won at 84-76. Peyton the Law, 24 points, 7 rebounds. I love watching that guy play. Jason Nixon, 19 points. He was wearing a sign say "Foul me," and he just kept putting the free throws in. So next up for Freed Hardeman, they're going to play IUE Saturday at the Show. LSUA, they go down for their first loss of the season. They fall to Xavier, 89-72. This game was in New Orleans, but pretty good beatdown, 17 points. James Weathers, 24 points. Wayne Randall Bechet, 15 points, 4 rebounds. LSUA, they go to 6-1, and they're going to host Louisiana Christian on Monday. And look at this. Speaking of Louisiana Christian, they beat LSU Shreveport tonight, 77-76 at Shreveport for LCU. Drew Tebby, 16 points. He had 5 assists. Devin Carter, 15 points, 3 rebounds. So LSU Shreveport has lost 3 out of 4 games. They're in trouble. They're slipping fast. And so they're going to play Xavier. It's going to get way easier. They're going to play Xavier on Monday. Let's take a quick look. Here's a rundown of those games in the Red River Conference. Our Lady of the Lake won. We talked about these games. But let's look at the standings. So up until the last week or so, all the conversations about this conference have been Shreveport and Alexandria. And so now the conference is led by Our Lady of the Lake, who's a full game up on Southwest. And they're also a full game up on Xavier, 2 games up on Alexandria. So take that for what you may. But again, this is why I enjoy when we start playing conference basketball. Concordia, they defeated Midland at home tonight. They were in Seward. Noah Shutt, 27 points, 10 rebounds. Great basketball player. He's got to be a candidate for Player of the Year. Hayden Frank, 13 points. Concordia goes to 4-2, and they're going to play. They go to Morningside on December 4th. Central Baptist, they beat Blue Mountain 67-63. Sage Bourbon, he leads them every night. 13 points, 3 rebounds, and Gabe Johnson, 13 points as well. Central Baptist is 7-1, and they are going to host Philander Smith on Saturday. Did you guys go through the scorecard from last night? Well, the games were playing. You look through the scoreboard on the NAI. My mother told me 1 billion times never to exaggerate, but I'm telling you, there was 1 million games. The pages just kept coming and coming and coming. I couldn't believe how many games there were. I don't even know if the scroll's going to make it through. It looks like it cut off because it only gives you so many scores. But man, I don't think I've ever seen, well, I mean, all Saturdays do in the middle of the season, but on basically a non-conference day. It seemed like everybody in the country played today. So in the American Midwest, they're going to be back in conference action on December 5th. And while we're taking an aside, I went to 2 grocery stores today. I took my own advice, and the one wasn't bad. And then my wife said the dreaded words anybody can hear, let's go to Costco. Oh my gosh. I mean, just parking. I needed a Medal of Honor for parking. So but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with my spouse shopping for Thanksgiving food. So the Florida Memorial tonight, they got upset as well by Faulkner, 69-67. Jonathan Garcia, he popped a jumper in with 10 seconds to go, and he secured the win for Faulkner. Faulkner goes to 7-3, and they're going to host Indiana Wesleyan on December 14th. So they don't play again until September. That seems like, I don't know if I'd want that long of a layoff, but that's when they play next. It's because they only give teams 28 games. That's part of the problem. Baker, they won tonight. Big game, big showdown in the heart of America. They played Peru State. Of course, it was at Baker, but Baker beat them by 23. That's a pretty convincing win. 87-64. Cayman Lennox, 16 points. And then Ahmed Bagoub, he had 14 points, a couple of rebounds to go with it. So they're 8-1. The only blemish they have is that one game they lost in Florida. They looked pretty good. So they're going to play Mid-American Nazarene on Saturday, and they have to go to Olathe. So we'll see how that turns out. But they're looking really good right now. Let's look at this conference too. So really, everything held to Hoyle. If I'll just go through the scores real quick there, and you can see them. William Penn is back and doing well again. That's good to see. They struggled last year. So the top 6 teams all held serve: Baker, Graceland, William Penn, Park, Peru State, and Central Methodist. Baker's holding the top spot. Graceland is really pushing them. And like I say, it's great to see William Penn having another good year. So the Heart is back in, the Heart's back in full conference play on December 4th. University of Mobile, they fell tonight. You know, they went through that big tragedy there. They fell tonight to Dillard, 82-65 for Dillard. Torrey Cargo, 19 points, 8 assists. Khalif Aleem, 17 points, 7 assists. Mobile goes to 5-2, and they play Bluefield at the show on Friday. And Indiana Tech, number 25, they beat Michigan Dearborn. They're in Fort Wayne, 90-68. Javel Lewis, 17 points with 7 rebounds. Crew Gibson, 15 points, 14 rebounds. A big boy double-double. Congratulations to Indiana Tech and Crew Gibson on a great game. Great game. Let's take a look, though. I want to show you something real quick. So tonight, here's just the rest of the scores. Northwestern Ohio won. Lawrence Tech, and Indiana Tech. So look at the standings here. So Lourdes and Indiana Tech are leading the conference. You know, after Indiana Tech lost those 2 games, or was it 2 or 3? Anyway, after they went into the top 25, everybody was busily writing their obituary, and they're 3-0 in conference. Ted Albert's not a guy to bet against. But it really looks like Lourdes, Indiana Tech, and Cornerstone, right? I mean, that's what it is. Seems like every year it's kind of forming up that way. We'll have to keep a long ways to go. I fully realize that. In the Chicagoland, I'm going to make everybody mad there, but this conference is not near as strong as it has been in the past. Olivet Nazarene's having a down year, as South Bend won today, but they've been down this year. There are a couple of stalwarts. St. Xavier looks a lot better, though, and St. Francis. And they lead the conference right now. Just a couple games, so it's hard to tell. Okay, just a quick reminder that we got the show coming up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's the schedule. I'm still working on getting the link for the games, for the video from Ken. And you got to tag me. I don't find stuff on Twitter. I can't find anything on. I hate Twitter. I hate it. So I use it out of necessity. So if you want me to see anything, you have to tag me. You just have to. So anyway, here's the schedule, and the schedule's all over X. You can find it on X as well. And thank you to Ken French for putting this together. It's a great tournament every year. Well, that's what I have. It was Upset Tuesday, and I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. I really do. It's a good time to get together with your family and insult them for the day rather than your coworkers. It's kind of a fun sport, but just spend time with your family and enjoy them. And if your kids are still young or your grandkids, man, just cherish every moment. I know I sound like an old man, but I mean it. Cherish every moment. We don't know how long we have each other. Anyway, that's all I'm going to ramble on about that. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and I'll see you after Thanksgiving. I have to look at the schedule to even figure out when they start again, but you'll see it when it comes out. This is Billy D. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.